friends to enemies to lovers, which means it's a combination, a merger, a merger. Hi everybody, so this is my first reading haul in forever. I know it has been a while. It has been a long while, and I apologize sincerely. I have, like, I'm not apologizing for not doing the haul, of course. I'm apologizing because I think some of this was sent a while back and it took a while for me to get it, which is why I'm apologizing. I have been on a quasi book buying ban because I do have some financial decisions and like major financial adult type purchases to make in the coming year, next year, and so I had to cut down on my book buying quite heavily. If you've watched my previous video where I talk about, some of the responsibilities of adulthood that would keep us from buying all the books we want, then you probably can guess, like, have an idea of exactly what kind of financial burden and purchase I am planning on making in the next couple of years. So I had to cut down heavily on my book buying. Of course, it doesn't mean I'm not buying any books. It just means I'm not buying them with the frequency that I used to, which is heartbreaking and sad. But at the same time, I think that at the end of it all, when my savings is done and I'm in a much better place, I definitely would reward myself and thank myself for being patient and resisting and everything else. Anyway, I have a couple of books I want to show. My plan is to not like to have this video fit into max, say 25-minute slot. I'm not going to talk about like the summary of what the series is about, but I'm just going to speak to what attracts me by each book. You can see the title, you can see the cover of the book. If you want to just read the synopsis, you can get that off of Goodreads, but I just want to say my interest in the stories and why I love the book, or I put it on my wish list, or I bought the books in this case. So the first on the list is Noor by Nnedi Okorafor. I've said it several times on my channel that I really do enjoy Dr. Nnedi Okorafor's writing. I love it. And this was sent to me by the amazing Amy. Thank you so much, Amy. And I loved your note. Like, Amy in a note mentioned that she got this for me. She saw it on my wish list and she got it for me because I got her into Nnedi Okorafor's work, and that makes me so happy. Like, it makes me so happy to hear that some of the books I gush about and talk about and really love, and I'm very vocal about loving, that you all get the chance to read these authors and read these books and in turn find like something that you also enjoy and also love. So please, you can pause this video right now and just quickly drop in the comments. Let me know one book. It doesn't need to be more than one book that you picked up because of a recommendation from my channel. Maybe I gushed about it, or I loved it, or I talked about it, or something. Like, just one book that you got to discover that you ended up falling in love with courtesy of my channel. Those are the type of things that keep me encouraged and motivated to keep filming and keep making videos, because like, adulting is so hard. And yes, I'm not gonna lie, I said that 2023 is the year that I speak into existence the things that I want. I want to grow my channel, yes, but I also want to feel like what I do matters, right? That in a way, this joy I have for books is conveyed on screen, and I've been able to pass some of that love to you and like introduce you to like a new author that you love, or a new book that you love, or even an old book that you love. Just please drop it in the comments. It would absolutely make my day. But yes, so Noor by Nnedi Okorafor, by Dr. Nnedi Okorafor. Now, the reason why I had this book on my wish list and I loved it was because this follows a girl. Yes, there's an augmented human in this story, that's Anwuli, but most importantly, right, she's dealing with the bias and the phobia that arises from people, like the way in which we react as human beings to things and like to events and people that we do not like fully understand. Is always usually with fear, and this is depicted, like you can see this in this book, and also because of like people's perception of other people, and the way they just use these broad strokes to paint the rest, everybody else, as that same person. What am I talking about, right? In this, she goes on the run with like Fulani herdsmen. Now, I'm a Nigerian living in Nigeria, and when any Nigerian hears the word Fulani herdsmen, they associate it with a terrorist, right? Because there have been a lot of killings and a lot of kidnappings that have taken place in Nigeria by some Fulani herdsmen. Now, not every Fulani person is like that, right? But it's the narrative and the languaging and the way in which it orders like a full group of people and then just paints all of them in this villainous light, and what that says about us as a society. That is something that I really, really want to see her explore in this book, and I'm actually really excited to read it. Also, that cover, look at that cover, tell me that is not just pretty. Amuli is so fine. Like, this is just lovely. The next book is a book that a friend got me over Christmas, and like, it's by an author I absolutely adore, and that is Swallow. That is Swallow by Ayodele Olufotuade. Now, if you're like, Ayodele Olufotuade, why does that name sound familiar? Their name sounds familiar because they are the ones that wrote Lakiri Boto Chronicles, which I have already spoken about, like how much I love that book. And Swallow, right? And if Efusheto and if Aniwura, like, it follows Efusheto Aniwura's story and also Efunkoronye, and I just being able to, these are two women in Yoruba history that are a crucial part of the history. And of course, this is a reimagining of their stories, right? It's a retelling. I'm certain that Ayodele Olufotuade took some liberties, but also there's also going to be historical elements. And because like it's Ayodele Olufotuade, I know it's going to be queer. It's going to be queer, and it's going to be lovely, and it's going to be about these women finding self actualization, and also discovering, finding themselves, and also speaking out for who they are and what they want. And I'm just really, really excited because I cannot wait to read it. Like, I know I am going to love this book. I know I am going to love this book, and it's just going to be absolutely phenomenal. And oh my god, I repeat, it's filled with Yoruba history and politics, and just, it's going to be queer and lovely and feminist. It's going to be feminist, and I'm excited I can't wait to read this. Thank you so much, Deo, for this. This is not signed and personalized. My Lakiri Boto Chronicles is. Deo said she wasn't able to get to Ayodele to have it signed. So my hope is that at some point when I'm in Ibadan, I'll be able to drop by and find a way to connect and get this signed and personalized, because I know I am going to love this book, and I cannot wait to dive into it and read it. So Swallow, that's Efusheto Aniwura by Ayodele Olufotuade. I love this. The next books I'm going to be talking about are part of a series. There's A Song Below Water and A Chorus Rises, both by Bethany C. Marrow. Now, the reason why I'm really excited about this, right? One, the first one, right? A Song Below Water. Okay, this was sent to me by my very good friends Tati and Sherry, and I'm so happy. I am so, you all don't understand. Like, I've had these books on my wish list for like forever, and I have them. I can't wait to dive into them. This one, because it's black mermaids and black friendships and black female friendships, and just the beauty of that, the power of that, the magic inherently present in that, and just how united a force that is against like racism and misogyny. I love that. I love, like, oh my god, black mermaids. Spectacular. So I already love this. I also, this A Chorus Rises, like, just because it's set in this world, it's set in the world of A Song Below Water, and it still centers black women and black girls and black, like, magical girls, actual magical girls. And I find it very interesting, because it's an exploration of, okay, what happens, like, when you put, like, black women on this pedestal of celebrity. What happens when just a little mistake, and just how quick people are to tear down black women from this pedestal. Like, there's that resentment of them having the celebrity status, and then they hold them to this way higher ideal compared to every other person, right? And then what happens when you rebuild that, and then you find out that even in that following, people are then using you as a means to attack other black women in that space. And because it's something that speaks to our present experiences, this whole belief, and it's still rooted in misogyny, right? This whole expectation and belief that black women cannot succeed together in the same space, right? That for your faith to thrive and be in the limelight and be in the spotlight, you need to pull down other black women who are doing their things. And even sometimes they might not even be in that same sphere. Sometimes they might be in a whole other category, and you're focused on pulling them down just so that you can and keep boosting your fave up. I think it's still rooted in misogynoir because there's this expectation that, oh, you know, you cannot have too many black women at that top spot, right? Enjoying that fame, enjoying that celebrity, enjoying that popularity, and I resent it. So I really am interested to see how Bethany C. Morrow explores that in this series, especially in A Chorus Rises. But like I said, these two books are, I am pleased, I am excited to read them. I'm just so grateful. But look at this cover. Like, look at this, stunning. But look at this cover. My heart, the beauty in this, the beauty. Next is Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. This is Talia's first ever YA novel, and the way I am so excited to read. Like, I pre-ordered this when it came out. Yes, I know it took a while to get to me, reasons, but this, I am so excited about this because one, you all know how much I love Talia Hibbert, and like I just love the way in which she has this, so like the way she writes opposites attract romances are great. Now, I have said it several times. Everybody knows on my channel that enemies to lovers is my favorite trope. Friends to lovers is my second favorite, like very close, like they're almost always tied at the top. Friends to lovers, my second favorite trope. This is friends to enemies to lovers, which means it's a combination, a merger of my favorite tropes. Like, oh my God, this book was like, girl, I'm coming for your throat. I'm going to have you in a chokehold. You're going to choke on the amazingness that is this book, that is this premise, this entire premise. Like, I am so excited to read this. Our two characters were friends when they were younger, and then they had this separation of paths. One of them is the popular boy in school. The other one is just more of a loner, giving into conspiracy theorists theory. So basically they go very separate paths, and then circumstances bring them together and they have to work together, and in working together they're like, yo, it seems like I might not hate you that much after all. It seems like I might like you. Like, oh my God, I actually might like you. Oh my God, I actually might like you. Like, I can just imagine how they slowly got to that point, because I can just imagine. Okay, so this just makes me very, very giddy, and it's just, look at that. Look at that art. Look at them. They're going to go camping. They're going to be alone. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Okay, I'm you all can tell I'm very excited about this. I love this. I grabbed this, and it's I know it's going to be fantastic. I know it's going to be fantastic. I can tell that is going to be fantastic. Next is another book I pre-ordered, which is Chain of Thorns. Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare. This is the third book in the Last Hours trilogy. So the first book was Chain of Gold, then there was Chain of Iron, and this is Chain of Thorns. Now, I have not, confession time, right? I have not read Chain of Iron, right? And, okay, did I decide at the end of Chain of Gold that with the way in which it ended and the questions I had, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. I need to know what happens next. Did I decide when Chain of Iron came out that, okay, do you know what? I am not going to read this because I am sure that Cassandra Clare is going to give us yet another cliffhanger that would annoy me, that would irritate me, that would have me screaming. And so therefore, it pays me instead to wait until the trilogy's ended with Chain of Thorns before I then read it. Yes, because I have learned my lesson. I learned it. It took a while, but I learned it. I learned it the hard way. So now I am going to reread Chain of Gold, then read Chain of Iron, and then read Chain of Thorns. So do I have any idea what happens in this book? No. Do I know if this book is great? No. Have I been able to stay away from spoilers of even Chain of Iron all this while? Yes. I actually have no idea what has happened in those books. I've been blessed that way. I have been fortunate that way. It makes me so happy. I am giddy with joy. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, let's go. Okay, sorry. That was not how that song went. Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, it's grand. Let's hold your hand. Oh, riding on a wonderland with snow. Was that what I was? Oh my God. Because my brain was like, giddy up, giddy up. I'm like, that is connected to a song. But I think that is not how that song went, Noor. And my brain was like, what? How did that song go? It was a Christmas song. Okay. I'm allowed to sing it a bit off tune because it's a Christmas song. So yes, I am keeping my fingers crossed. Honestly, to be fair, I am actually more looking forward to the Dark Powers, which is the very last book in this entire Shadow Hunter universe, and it is like the next series after this one. Now that this has ended, Cassandra Clare will finally get around to Dark Powers, and I'm really looking forward to that because I do prefer the modern day stories and characters to those in the Victorian era. I'm sorry. Like, yes, James Arundel, like, yeah, you're awesome. Will Arundel, yeah, you're awesome. But I prefer the Arundels, the Blackthorns, you know, the Carstairs, the Fairchilds, the Lightwoods. I prefer them in modern day. Like, I prefer those kids to you know, going back in the past. But of course, this would definitely have Anna Lightwood because Anna Lightwood I want to marry, and it would definitely have Magnus Bane because Magnus Bane is Bane. Magnus Bane is and forever will be Bane. The next book I got. Pew, 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 pew. Can you all see it? Can you all see it? I was able to conjure this. This is the spirit. This is the spirit. Reward. Okay, this book came out last year. I'm certain everybody's like, what on earth? Like, and if you all were like, yo, Noria, this book came out last year. Yes. It came out last year. I was on a book buying ban. I was also still dealing with a depressive episode, and I was in a reading slump, so I was not doing any reading when this came out. But I pre-ordered it anyway because you all know that your girl is a polyandrist. I am married to the city we became because, you know, we tied the nuptials. After I read that book, I was like, we tied the nuptials. And because of the fact that book gave it to me good, I was like, when the second book comes out, I'ma marry her before even reading her. Actually, technically, books have no gender, so that's why I'm like, can I call myself a polyandrist? Because I thought that that's when you have like two husbands. Like, does it work if you're two spouses? Can I just say I'm polygamous for books? Like, I'm gonna marry multiple books, but especially these two, like City We Became and The World We Make. Now, I am really excited about The World We Make. Like I already said, I love the whole concept of city having souls. And that is what, you know, N.K. Jemisin explores in the series. Now, I am terrified because this is the last book in the series. And I'm terrified. I'm like, oh my God, what if it is that N.K. Jemisin does not stick the landing in the world? Like, shut up your mouth, Noria. Shut up your mouth, Noria. How can you say that? It is N.K. Jemisin. Nora did not give us the Broken Earth trilogy for you to doubt the way in which she's going to end the story, because I know The World We Make is going to be like, I have my hands on your throat, and I'm just ready. Am I acting extra? Yes. Does this book deserve it? This series? Yes. This book? Yes. And of course, I'm definitely going to be doing a hybrid read. So I'm getting the audiobook sometime in the coming week so I can then start reading this. I'm going to reread The City We Became and then jump on this. I think it was initially meant to be a series. Like, initially it was meant to be a duology, then it was meant to be a trilogy, then it became a duology again because of reasons. And I'm just excited because that means the story, like, she wrapped it up, she ended it. I can be like, okay, baby, okay, thank you. Like, we made it through COVID. And we're gonna read you, and it's making me so happy. Like, you all can tell, this is my baby. This is the love of my life. 2023. Okay, sorry. I love this. I'm excited to read this. And like I said, I hope that we get more of the different boroughs of New York, like the exploration, the meeting, you know. I'm really looking forward to exploring that. And yeah. But look at that. Isn't that pretty? It's so pretty. Next, I'm going to take you quickly through my book of the month's picks. There's The Fortunes of Jaded Women by, I'm not going to mention her name because I do not want to butcher it, right? But see, the thing I love about this is because this book centers around, you know, generational curses and what it means when you inherit that curse and that trauma from your ancestor, and then it just passes it on along generations. Because see, someone in their family's ancestry was cursed because of the fact that she chose love over a loveless marriage, and because patriarchy would always try to keep women trapped, and this is somebody that dared to defy it, and it responded by placing a curse. And so you have these generations of women that came after her, and I find it very interesting that the curse was always that that family would always like only birth daughters, because what does that say about just how patriarchal the person that plays that curse is, and just how misogynistic in which it is all playing out. And I found it interesting because, like, so you have three sisters. They're, yeah, sure, their love life is all in shambles, but they're doing well, like, professionally. And you have their mother who goes to, find out exactly what is in store for a family. And other than, happiness and sadness, there's also the fact that there would finally be a boy. And just the concept of that, what does it mean for this family that has only had women for generations to then have a boy, right? Is there going to be a conversation about how the patriarchy does not value women, does not consider women as valued as men? Especially because, like, I'm Nigerian, right? I was born in this country. Trust me, there are some families that celebrate the birth of a son like you would think that they won the lottery, right? And the birth of a daughter does not have that same pageant and pomp and ceremony, which, once again, misogyny and patriarchy. And I wonder exactly how Caroline would explore that in her book, in this story. I'm actually really excited to see how it all plays out. The next book I picked up is Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. Now, confession, right? I picked up this book because, one, apparently it's these two people who used to be friends when they were younger. They met again and then started this entire business that had this empire that, like, blew up into wealth and spans 30 years, and that relationship and everything that happens after, everything that happens in that duration. But the one thing that hooked me about this book personally is the fact that apparently the business that they come together to create is a game. Like, this book is a celebration of video game design. And you all know your girl is a gamer. I love me my video games. So I was just like, the minute I heard it, I was like, this book sounds like it was written for me. Sounds like it was written for me to read it, for me to love it. And I'm going to take it in slow sips. And like, I know I'm really going to enjoy it because, once again, video game design. They had me at video game design. I also got Sign Ear by Claudia Lux. This I found very interesting, right? I found very entertaining because basically it talks about like the bureaucracy in hell. You have a demon who is meant to sign on his very last soul, and then eventually he will be free. But it turns out that for like the last soul has to come from a particular family, and now the family is on a retreat, and he's just over there, getting all the help he needs in order to try and convince somebody, anybody in the family, to sign away their soul. And it just, the concept of it, it's hilarious. It's hilarious. I always love when books explore that. I think it's because of Good Omens and, exactly just how well it is that, Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman wrote about, like, the politicking in, like, the hell in their book, and the bureaucracy and how it all plays out, and just how frustrated Crowley is with it. Like, this sounds like it's going to be a hoot and pure hilarity to read, and I am here for it. And because I am just all about comedy, right, even though this has a bit of action, my next book is Killers of a Certain Age by Dina Rayborn. This like, they are septuagenarians, right? They are in their 70s, and they are the world's, like, some of the world's deadliest assassins. Like, these 5 women are some of the world's deadliest assassins, and after having worked at their agency for 40 years, it's retirement age, so they are retiring, right? Some of them, I think, are in their 60s. Some are about entering their 70s. So they're retiring, so they're on a cruise ship celebrating their retirement, only to find out that they're being targeted, right? The agency had contracted yet another assassin to take them out, so that, like, the series stay buried. And so these women had to be like, you know what, you do not necessarily retire from killing people, especially when they want to kill you. What I wanted to say would have been flagged on my channel, because you all know the new YouTube thingy about the things we can and cannot say. But anyway, I am just so, I repeat, older women who are assassins, who would then who then are like, yo, you will not let us retire in peace. Fine, we will burn this whole establishment, you know, the entire agency to the ground and kill every one of you. And they're partnering up, and it sounds like it's going to be hilarious. It sounds like it's going to be perfection. It sounds like I should have read this yesterday. So Killers of a Certain Age. Finally, the last book of the month pick is Babel. Babel by R.F. Kuang. I know. I'm certain, like, of course you all know I'm going to get Babel. I mean, R.F. Kuang is one of my favorite writers. I have been shouting my love for her writing since, 2018? Like, come on. You all know the Poppy War series is one of my favorite series of all time, except for the end, because you all know how much of I had better higher expectations for Burning God than what it gave me. But the Poppy War and the Dragon Republic, those were the girls. We all know it. Like, yes, Babel. Like, I love me history and I love linguistics. And this book is all about the history of language and translation, which, of course, like, it was made for my heart. It was made for all the things I love. I am going to enjoy reading this. I'm going to take my time to read it because y'all can see she's chunky and I cannot wait to read it. Oh, Babel. Also, that cover. Your girl still loves pretty books. Like, I mean, I do see my face. Of course, pretty girls love pretty books. But yes, so I love this. Like, it's broody and it's great, and yes, please, yes. Oh, yes. Set of books I have are Chinese Danmei novels, and for those that are like, what are Danmei? Danmei are basically gay stories coming out of, like, from China. And I love me some good Danmei. If you want me to make a recommendation video, just let me know. Drop it in the comment and I will get to it. So these are books I've been collecting for a while, so I'm not going to go into details. You can see that, like, they're not like they're further down, you know, the release line. So I got volumes 4 and 5 of Evan's Official Blessing. That's Tiangun Sifu by Mozi and Tongsu. As you can see, look at volume 4. Look at Julian. See what Julian is up to on volume 4. Like, in volume 4's cover. Like, see Julian. Can you see? Oh my god. Okay, so these are volume 4 and 5. Right? I just love it. Like, there's the heat and there's the domesticity. Spectacular. I honestly think that of all this series of Moza and Tongsu's books that Seven Seas is creating, the covers for Tiangun Sifu have just been spot on compared to everybody else's. The covers have really been spot on. I also got volume 4 of Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. That's Moda Azushi. Also by, of course, Mozi and Tongsu, because it's still MXTX. And you can see, look at Wang Xian. Look at Wang Xian at the bunny. Like, this is just so sweet. This is so cute. I'm not going to go into details at the end because, like, you all know. But I think this is Jinling. This is Jinling, right? Because this is Jiancheng and this is Yanli. So I think this is Jinling at the back. Because you can see they are Lotus Pair. And I'm getting distracted. I got volume 4 of Moda Azushi. I also got the 4th and final volume of the Scum Villains Self-Saving System, also by MXDS as Mozi and Tongsu. See, this is the only one of her series that I have not read. Moda Azushi is my favorite of all the series that she read. Tiangun Sifu, that's okay. So Moda Azushi, that's Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, my favorite. Tiangun Sifu, that's Evan's Official Lesson. It's like a very close second, like very close. Some days they are tied at the top. And then SVSSS I've not read. Scum Villain Self-Saving System I have not read. I was waiting for the 4th book, even though, like, you know, I had the fan translated copy because it was fan translated until everybody, like, it was taken down so that we can buy the copies, which of course I am because I would always support MXTX. And here's the thing, for Moda Azushi, I actually do not like 7 Seas translations of that. So when there's a new publisher who publishes the books with the more accurate translations, I intend to get me a copy of, like, get me those in those copies as well. But yeah, so SVSS says this is the 4th volume because, like, it's a transmigration story. Somebody's getting a second chance into stuff, and it's a parody, a tongue-in-cheek poking at transmigration stories and all this um, self-saving system in books and stories that Mozart Tangsu is like, poking our hands at, and it's funny, right? I know people who SVSS is their absolute favorite MXTX novel, and I'm actually interested in reading it to see just how I like enjoy the series. But I have been old enough now that I have all four. I cannot wait to get to reading. Finally, I got the Husky and his White Cat Shizun, both by Midbun. That's Ruba Obuchiru, right? So I love Husky and his White Cat Shizun. This book though, like, once I actually prefer these covers. Like the Seven Seas. Okay, here is the thing, right? I love this story. I love this book. I love following Oran and Chuwanin's story. But I would say, right, that this, like, if you're just getting into Danmei, like, this book, please check online for all the trigger warnings, because this book is triggering. Like, triggering. Like, the number of triggers in this book, they are a ton. But it is a great, fantastic story. I'm definitely going to be collecting the rest of the books I'm going to be collecting the rest of the volumes for this. And I think that I think there's more. Like, Seven Seas does plan on releasing more books, like more of Meat Bond's books, like publishing. And I know that they're also publishing more of Priest's books as well. So if you want me to create a list of like Danmei novels, you should check out, let me know. If you want me to create a list of like Danmei, like upcoming Danmei novels that are getting translated, officially published and translated, let me know. I could also make a video like that as well. But that is it. That is the video. That is the end of my very first haul in a very long time. Let me know which of any of these books you actually are interested in checking out. If there are any of the books that you've already read, let me know as well. Drop it in the comments. I really appreciate it. Please drop a comment, leave a like. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Turn on post notifications. If you made it to the end, can you please drop a hug emoji in the comments? This week has been quite the week, and I need all the hugs. So just drop a hug emoji. Thank you for coming along on this journey, this ride, this video with me. Bye.